All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division where Terence Crawford very well may be getting an order from the WBA very soon for a fight and throw a monkey wrench in the plans of the people that would have him take over the 154-pound division, as it appears that the PBC and PBC fighters who have dominated that division, just like they dominated the 147-pound division, are going to make Terence Crawford have to play ball in order to get what he says that he wants to get. Let's talk about the fight that may be ordered for him and Jermell Charlo next, but let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division where Jermell Charlo has petitioned the WBA to reinstate him as the WBA champion. He originally petitioned, shout out to Knockout Boxing 86 TV, by the way, who also did a short on this. Subscribe to his channel and definitely check out his short. It was a very, very good short on it. Jermell Charlo sent a note to the WBA and said, hey, I want to be reinstated into my WBA title. I'm going to be coming back. The WBA told Terence Crawford, told Jermell, hold on, you petitioned a little late. We've already ordered Israel Madrimov to fight Terence Crawford. So for that title, however, you can get the winner, which means that Jermell Charlo is going to be the mandatory for Terence Crawford. And it is the only way that will not take place is if Jermell Charlo declines to do it, which I doubt Jermell Charlo is going to decline to do. So what do you have? You have Jermell Charlo for the WBA. You have Fundora for the WBO and the WBC. And you have Tim Tszyu, who has been ordered to fight Murtazaliev for the IBF. That means every belt at 154 pounds. The next opponent for Terence Crawford would be the PBC. Every one of them. If Fundora loses to Errol Spence Jr. in his next fight, then the case remains the same, except for you replace Fundora with Errol. Now, some people would say, but the WBO, Fundora has to drop the WBO belt if he fights Terence Crawford. Well, if Terence Crawford is ordered to defend the WBA belt before the WBO, before Sebastian Fundora gets in the ring or is set to fight Errol Spence in the early part of next year, then Terence Crawford will have a mandatory ordered for him that he will have to take place. They will have to fight before he even gets into negotiations for the WBO belt. So where's all this coming from? My humble opinion, it's coming from Al Haymon and the PBC, because if you look at how boxing has worked and the way that promoters and different platforms have worked with each other over the last, for me, I've been watching it over 40 years. First time I ever noticed this was with Bob Arum and Don King, where Don King had the heavyweights and had pretty much anything above welterweight and up. And Bob Arum really did specialize at Top Rank in fights at welterweight and below. And they pretty much split the pot on the different types of weight divisions, and their fighters would fight each other. That sometimes they would co-promote a fight together or co-promote a fighter together, like they did with Sugar Ray Leonard, right? Sugar Ray Leonard had options, but you see the coordination of promoters that take the fighters in specific weight divisions. In the weight division 135 pounds, clearly the promoter that is really doing 135 and has 135 and most of those belts on a lock is Bob Arum. If you look at 147 and you look at 154, those two weight classes have been pretty much dominated for the last 5 years by the PBC and Al Haymon as they continually cycle through champions. And the only one that I know of, there's a few that over the last couple of years, and those guys all had the WBO belt, whether it was Teixeira, or whether it was Jaime Munguia, or whether it was Saddam Ali, all of those, or Miguel Cotto, all of those were over there with the 154-pound division. So Terence Crawford being up there and talking about what he wants to do, well, he's not going to 168 because 168 is Canelo and you hear all the drama going on there. So it's got to be at 100. So what's he going to go to 160? There's nobody at 160 that's a big enough name to take a chance with them being that big. It's at 154. So Terence Crawford is probably going to have to play ball no matter what, even though Terence doesn't really like to play ball with people. As you see, when he talked all kind of crazy to Eddie Hearn, to Eddie Hearn for the Madmarov fight. But at the end of the day, 154 is a popping division right now. I expect Terence Crawford to be ordered to fight Jermell Charlo. As long as Jermell Charlo wants that fight and goes for that fight, do not be surprised if Terence Crawford has to fight him next. And again, I give credit to these particular facts that I was reminded of to Knockout Boxing 86 TV. People don't really like people to steal their content, so I'm going to give you the credit because I definitely heard it. The other stuff, like Terence Crawford saying he doesn't want to fight Errol Spence Jr., like he's done with that. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's just going to be real interesting to see how this stuff plays out, man, because the PBC promoters and networks ain't really nothing to play with. And he basically thinking he's got a really big sponsor with a lot of money that's going to get anything and everything done with him. He's already running into hurdles with that. Same way Eddie Hearn ran into hurdles with that. The same way Triller ran into hurdles with that. Same way Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy ran into hurdles ran into hurdles like that. I don't think that there is anybody that is going to be able to avoid the politics in boxing, because these entities are out there to make money, stay in business, and they all do like to have their fighters fight each other. So just like Turki Al-Sheikh, if Turki Al-Sheikh wants to force Canelo into a fight, he's got to sign everybody around him at 168, and then maybe he can force somebody to fight Canelo to fight on one of his cards. I don't think he can even do it then. So is the case with Al Haymon, but Al Haymon already has Terence Crawford completely surrounded at 154 pounds. And those dudes have the money to pay for the fights. So Turki Al-Sheikh doesn't have anything that Al Haymon doesn't have and can't work with. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comments section. And with that, I'm out.